local student group's protest is now part of the True False Film Festival. Good evening, I'm Landon Burke.
And I'm Jenna Middahl. We have team coverage of the True False Film Festival tonight. We start with Emma Henderson, who tells us about a new documentary featuring the story of Mizzou student protesters.
Concerned Student 1950 captured the attention of the nation earlier this year with their protests, and it also led to the resignation of multiple high-powered system officials. Now it's being turned into a movie and is the latest edition in the True False Film Festival.
Thank you.
Jonathan Butler's hunger strike and the Mizzou football team's And it also led to the resignation of multiple high-powered system officials. Now it's being turned into a movie and is the latest edition in the True False Film Festival.
Thank you.
Jonathan Butler's hunger strike and the Mizzou football team's refusal to play in solidarity with the protesters had reporters flocking to Columbia from news outlets of all sizes. Varun Bajaj, Adam Dietrich, and Khaled Marvin, Mizzou documentary students, embedded themselves with the organization last fall, even camping out overnight, and were able to capture a very personal look at the movement's inner workings.
I think that it was like just a side of the story that you don't really see, is that people would sit around and play Heads Up and Never Have I Ever, and it was just a fun time to be together as students.
As Mizzou students themselves, filming the story at times had its challenges.
After the fact, after there was kind of the Melissa Click fallout and the football team story kind of came through, like that was when I started to wrestle with this, like I'm also a student.
A silent film version of the movie is showing Saturday downtown, and later that night the documentary will premiere at the Missouri Theater. The fact that it's premiering at True False is extra special to these filmmakers.
Having this film play here is super important to us because we really want to bring the conversation back to its starting point in Columbia.
This is the first film this team has ever made, and they still can't believe the outcome.
Like, I feel like the credits are going to roll on Saturday night, and then it's going to be Sunday morning. I'm going to wake up, and it's going to feel like it never happened.
Now you can see behind me what festival goers call the Great Wall, and that's where a 20-minute preview of this movie is going to be filmed tomorrow night, right before the official showing. Now we're going to send it over to Paxton DeBlasi, who's been covering the events of all day today.
I'm live out at the Picture House, where theaters all across Columbia like this one are still showing films, and as you can see, there's no shortage of people trying to get in. The line actually looped all the way around the block for people just trying to see the film, basically on standby. I got to see the beginning of the festivities earlier today with the March to kick everything off. Following the parade, there was actually a block party where parade goers and people who walked in the parade got to hang out and just, feel the energy, feel the vibes that were coming from the beginning of this festival. Following the parade, once the sun went down, VJ Suave actually had an animation show where he drove through the city streets and put up his animations all on the side of buildings. He's a Brazilian artist, and I had the opportunity to speak with one True False goer today who's a regular who walked in the parade earlier, and she says she loves the environment and she loves the energy created by the festival.
I think it's just the warmth of the community. You can really feel Columbia's true nature. And you can talk to somebody that you don't even know about something you would have never even thought existed, and it brings people together.
VJ Suave is also writing tomorrow, having his animation show tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. Reporting live from the Picture House, Paxton DeBlasi, KOMU 8 News.
Thanks, Paxton. Now we'll look at all things True False that aren't movies. KOMU 8's Krista Gamalik checked out some of the new features.
You really did feel like you were a part of the environment around you.
This six-time festival goer is describing one of the new activities offered at True False this year, virtual goggles.
There were a couple different times that I tried to reach out and touch something and then remembered, oh wait, I can't see my hands.
With these virtual goggles, people step into the shoes of a blind man and of a person falling in love. One simulation even mirrors what it is like to be in solitary confinement.
How you would count the bricks, how you would look at things and make designs in your mind facing the bricks, all kinds of unique examples of how your mind would change.
Virtual reality goggles are not the only thing attracting festival goers. One new activity combines interactive theater with puzzles, kind of like new escape rooms. but you'll have to buy tickets to learn more.
This is kind of a secret. We're trying to keep it a secret. So when groups come through here, we're telling them not to tell anybody about the things they're seeing, because for this experience to really work for the groups, they have to come in, as a totally clean slate.
For other new Truth-False activities, you can take a look at our website, KOMU.com.
Tomorrow marks 70 years since Winston Churchill's famous Iron Curtain speech at Westminster College in Fulton. KOMU 8's Taylor Stevens is in the newsroom to tell us how one local radio group is commemorating the speech.
The Callaway Amateur Radio League is broadcasting worldwide today and tomorrow to honor Churchill's speech. People from around the world can reach out to the station to discuss the legacy of the speech and Churchill. League members say the speech meant a lot for the people of Fulton. They say the broadcast is a way for them to share that memory with others.
We just kind of enjoy it and see it as something special, connected with our town, and something that we can provide for other people around the country and around the world to remember Churchill's speech and the history here at Fulton.
League members told me they're expecting more than 500 contacts this year. The station will be broadcasting tomorrow as well, which marks the official anniversary of the speech.
Thanks, Taylor. The Department of Veterans Affairs addressed questions and concerns today at the Truman VA Medical Center. The quarterly town hall meetings became a requirement 2 years ago after many people felt veterans were not getting proper treatment. Veterans spoke out about concerns regarding difficulties getting a primary care doctor. The VA Medical Center director says several new projects are in the works for this year.
The other thing that we're really excited about is the new ICU. We'll be able to expand our ICU and treat more patients on our inpatient unit for intensive care.
Velocity says the new intensive care unit should be completed by December. The VA plans to have the new inpatient surgery completed by May of 2017.
A Callaway County car crash sent 2 people to the hospital this afternoon. The accident happened on Highway WW when the driver crossed the center line and overcorrected into a ditch. A highway patrol trooper says the passenger had serious injuries and the driver had minor injuries. Both were taken to Boone Hospital.
Members of the First United Methodist Church gathered to say farewell to the shell of a building after a massive fire overnight. This video comes from the Sedalia Democrat. Dirt rose in the air as cranes chipped away at the remains of the church. The church sat on that same corner since 1888. Residents say generations of families have grown up there. Boone County Sheriff's deputies found an out-of-state rental car today along with the 2 individuals they suspect had stolen it. The Sheriff's Department says 27-year-old Erica Williams and Kaplan C. Henderson were driving the Colorado-registered 2015 Toyota Corolla down Interstate 70. A license plate reader alerted deputies to the car. After searching, deputies found 1.5 pounds of marijuana. Both Williams and Henderson were arrested for vehicle tampering. Henderson faces charges for distribution, manufacturing, and possession of a controlled substance.
A 32-year-old Missouri man is in the Callaway County Jail tonight on a $4,500 bond. Brian Higginbotham was a person of interest in a January burglary off State Road near Williamsburg. Higginbotham had active cases in both Montgomery and Warren counties.
One ethics reform bill has passed through the state Senate. The legislation has multiple components that have to do with money raised for campaigns. The bill would change how campaign funds can be invested and used and would prohibit the money from being converted to personal gains. If passed, the measure would also force former public officials to dissolve campaign committees before registering as lobbyists. The bill now moves to the House for a vote. Well, it was pretty nice out there today. Let's send it over to Tori for a look at what we've got in store for this weekend.
Thanks a lot, Landon. We do have that cold front that's starting to move through the area this evening, certainly bringing us a lot of extra cloud cover, but we're also at this point starting to pick up on a few light sprinkles for areas just northeast of Columbia through Mexico, Paris, and Bowling Green as well. Now, really, a lot of these aren't hitting the surface at this time, but you might see a little bit of drizzle heading into the rest of our evening and overnight hours. For the most part, we're just pretty cloudy tonight, but the sunshine returns for both Saturday and Sunday. That's all ahead of another round of storm systems that are going to move through all next week, bringing us anywhere from around 1 inch to 2 inches at the most for most of the KOMU viewing area, but 3 to 4 inches certainly can't be ruled out. Now, while we're going to continue to watch for some flash flooding, I'll break down those storm chances for you coming up in just a bit.
Dr. Ben Carson has officially ended his campaign for president. The reason behind the suspension and his new role.
And how 20 years after a verdict was made, the case involving O.J. Simpson is back in the spotlight. the new findings in the investigation.
Off with a lot of extra cloud cover across the area this morning and chilly temperatures back in the middle and lower 30s, but a lot of us got to see a few peaks of sunshine in and out throughout the afternoon as temperatures rose back into the middle and lower 50s today. At this point, the clouds are back with us with another cold front that's continuing to sweep through our KOMU viewing area, and temperatures right now are back in those middle and upper 40s. It's looking to be another very mild and dry weekend for us, but we do have several rain chances on the way for all of next week, so I'll quickly break down those for you here right now. Right around a 20% chance for these very, very light spotty showers starting on Sunday evening, lasting throughout a good portion of the day on Monday morning and into Monday evening. Now these thunderstorms really ramp up as we head into late Tuesday morning. This main system really looks to be more of a Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning system. And then as we head into a Wednesday evening and Thursday morning, most of those showers and thunderstorms should start to taper off for us. But again, we're expecting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rainfall all weekend long. So stick around with us and we'll continue to keep you updated on that. But for the time being, things are starting to cool down just a little bit. We're at 46 degrees in Moberly, 48 in Boonville. It's 45 in Columbia, but still sticking around the lower 50s across the Lake of the Ozarks and over in Sedalia, where they reached high temperatures in the middle and lower 60s already today. Here's a look at that cold front that's continuing to move on through the area, really bringing a lot of snowfall and a few very light scattered showers to some of our north and northeastern counties at this point. But really, we're not going to see much of that throughout our overnight hours. Mainly, the system just brings us a lot of extra cloud cover and shifts our winds out of the north. So although we're going to be seeing a lot of extra sunshine and slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow afternoon, really not going to feel all too much warmer than we did today. But the sunshine sticks around tomorrow and throughout the first half of our Sunday as well. So if you do have any outdoor plans or anything you need to do outside, this is going to be the weekend to do it, as next weekend is looking to be a little bit more on the rainy side. Now, as we head into Monday afternoon, we are going to see a lot of extra cloud cover with this system. This particular computer model doesn't want to show any rainfall, but this is when I'm expecting some of those very light scattered showers to start anywhere from around after 7 or 8 o'clock on Sunday evening, and those last throughout a good portion of Monday afternoon as well. But for tonight, we're just a little bit on the cloudy side. Overnight lows right around 37 degrees, so just a little bit warmer than we were last night. And for tomorrow, temperatures should be a little bit warmer as well, with all of those clear skies and sunshine, right around 56 degrees for afternoon highs. And we continue to warm up into the weekend and actually the better part of next week as well. We're going to start off the week in the 70s despite all the rainfall throughout the day on Monday. Once we get most of those showers out of the way Wednesday afternoon, Thursday actually looks to be mostly dry for us, but we're going to have to talk rain chances once again by this time next week, I'm thinking.
Seems like we've had a cycle where we get all the nasty weather like in the week, and then it clears out really nicely for the weekend.
Really good weekend
I don't
weather
mind it that way.
No, it's been great, but next week might not be the case.
We'll see. We'll hold out for it. Thanks, Tori.
Thanks.
Coming up, a newspaper in Turkey is the subject of riots in Istanbul.
The reason behind its involvement after the break.
Here's what's happening right now. Protesters have interrupted the Donald Trump rally in New Orleans. It took several minutes for authorities to remove the group. Trump ordered the protesters to get out. Do we have protesters? Trump said. I hope so. Get them out. Trump also referred to his GOP competitors as Little Marco and Lying Ted.
In more GOP campaign news, Ben Carson has ended his presidential campaign today during a gathering of conservative activists near Washington. Carson made his announcement of leaving the campaign trail after disappointing finishes in the Republican primary contests. He joked, quote, "A lot of people love me, they just won't vote for me." Carson decided against taking part in last night's presidential debate. He says he hopes voters at this point have had, quote, "enough of this foolishness."
I will still continue to be heavily involved, in trying to save our nation.
Carson received just 8 delegates in the first 15 contests and finished 4th in Iowa. He will now head an organization motivating Christians to vote in the election. Police in Los Angeles are investigating a knife that was found on the property once owned by O.J. Simpson. The LAPD is investigating a report that the knife that once belonged to the Heisman Trophy winner years ago was discovered by a construction worker who gave it to an off-duty officer. Captain Andrew Neiman says they are trying to figure out why the officer, who now is retired, never turned the knife over. A murder weapon in the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman has yet to be found.
Turkish police fired tear gas and used a water cannon to forcibly enter the office of the country's top-selling newspaper today. The raid took place in Istanbul after a court ordered the confiscation of the newspaper. Several hundred supporters had gathered outside the headquarters of the newspaper to protest the ruling. State media said the court was following a request by a prosecutor investigating a U.S.-based Muslim cleric. Missouri baseball was in action tonight, going for win number 9.
See if the Tigers got the job done next in sports.
Now from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
On to the diamond tonight at Taylor Stadium. It's Mizzou baseball taking on the University of Illinois at Chicago. The Tigers are 8-2 in the spring 2016 season. Senior Reggie McClain started on the mound for Missouri. There's McClain warming up on the mound. We'll tell you later about his game. We start at the bottom of the first, runners on first and second, and it's an error by David Cronin of UIC that sends Connor Brumfield home for the score. Later on in the inning, runners on the corners, and Shane Benz hits a shot to left field, and that'll bring home Ryan Howard. Mizzou with the lead, and then it was Reggie McClain's game from there on out. McClain had a career-high 11 strikeouts in this one. Mizzou wins it with a walk-off homer by Ryan Howard, 7-4. The number 14 Missouri softball team is enjoying the warm temps in Fullerton, California for the Judy Garman tournament. The Tigers are 10-3 this season. Tonight they're taking on the Cal Golden Bears. This one just went final. Tigers get the win, number 11, 6-5. Also in action tonight is Mizzou Gymnastics. The number 14 Tigers are taking on number 9 Arkansas at the Hearn Center. It's senior night and also the last SEC matchup for each of the team before the SEC championships. But it was the underclassmen who led the team tonight. Sophomore Tia Albritton opened the beam competition with a 9.775. Sophomore Kennedy Harris scored a 9.825 on the vault. That's her 6th consecutive score of a 9.8 or better. Freshman Morgan Porter scored a career-high 9.925 on the bars, but she wasn't done yet. Porter went on to score a 9.95 on the beam. However, it wasn't enough. Mizzou lost to Arkansas 196.05 to 196.2. And it's the end of the season for the men's basketball team, no matter what the outcome. Because of a postseason ban, Missouri is taking on the Florida Gators. The Tigers are facing a 4-game losing streak, their last loss at the hands of LSU. It'll be lone senior Ryan Rosberg's last game. Now, journalist Dave Matter tweeted earlier that Rosberg would have to score 88 points tomorrow to finish with a double-digit average. Rosberg himself responded to the tweet saying, quote, "Challenge accepted." He would only have to top his career high by 64 points. Not totally impossible. Florida will be headed to the SEC championship. The first round tips off Wednesday. The Tigers will have to watch for Dorian Finney-Smith. He's averaging 14.9 points per game. Columbia College taking on Park University America Midwest Conference semifinals. Early first half, NIC Nick Reynolds puts up behind the arc and drains it. Cougars up by 2 early on. Park, however, would keep it close thanks to forward Derek Williams. He had a game-high 27 points, but the Cougars got some clutch shooting from Travis Vogt. He puts the Cougars up 3. Then Vogt away from downtown, he was perfect, 3 for 3 from behind the arc in the first half. Cougars would go on to win 86-81. That's it for sports.
She was just meowing and walking around in circles, and she normally doesn't do that. She normally leaves me alone.
How this fierce feline saved the day after the break.
She's being called the hero cat after letting one of her owners know there was a fire in the apartment. Emma started meowing at her owner and was circling around the room. Her owner thought maybe she was just hungry, but she didn't move from the living room. He then smelled the smoke from the attic and called 911 immediately. Thus, Emma saved not only her owner's life, but all 9 of hers. How about that? Now here's a look at what we're following on KOMU 8 News at 10, the latest in the controversy surrounding Hillary Clinton's private emails, who she hopes could help her move past the scandal.
And what Spanish authorities found in a box marked secondhand clothes. That's coming up on KOMU 8 News at 10.
All right, and it looks like we're going to stick around with a little bit of that cloud cover for the rest of our overnight hours tonight as overnight lows drop into the middle and upper 30s. Rest of the weekend, though, not looking too bad. Lots of sunshine for Saturday and at least the first half of Sunday before we've got a lot of rain for next week.
All right, we'll see you at 10.
On air, online, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the News app, and the Weather app. KOMU 8 News. Coverage you can count on.
Plus, it was raining in Jacksonville, Florida. Raining threes from Mizzou's Morgan Stock. We've got SEC highlights later in the show. 4 years have flown by for one Tiger. How Ryan Rosberg hopes to end his career with a slam. Sports is coming up.